Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we are so excited to have you again. The issue of extraordinary rendition to Nigeria of Nnamdi Kanu, which has been a subject of concern to all Biafrans and even to the legal council, has finally been put to rest. Don't forget that Ozekhome had declared that Kanu extraordinary rendition was actually legal, and there were other issues too that were supposed to be resolved today. The issue of his bail and all of that. We're going to be looking at these key issues in detail, and also the adjourned dates of the case. It has been adjourned, and we're going to know the adjourned date of the case. But before we give you full details of all of that, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our videos. Now, according to the news, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday slated May 18 to rule on an application that the 10 leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, filed to be released on bail pending the determination of the treasonable felony charge the federal government entered against him. The trial judge, Binta Nyako, adjourned to rule on the application after she heard arguments from both Kanu's lawyer, Chief Mike Ozekhome, senior advocate of Nigeria, and the prosecution counsel, Mr. Shuaibu Labaran. Whereas Ozekhome, senior advocate of Nigeria, argued that his client was entitled to bail considering that he still enjoyed the presumption of innocence under the 1999 Constitution as amended. The federal government lawyer Labaran urged the court to decline the bail request. The prosecution maintained that Kanu betrayed the previous discretion the court exercised in his favor when he jumped bail and escaped from the country. He argued that it was owing to Kanu's previous conduct that the court revoked his bail and issued a bench warrant for his arrest. According to him, he said, "My Lord granted him bail on 2017 on health grounds, but since then till date, no medical record was submitted to the court until he jumped bail. What we should be saying is contempt of court because he has flagrantly violated the order of the court." However, Ozekhome faulted the federal government lawyer for alleging that his client jumped bail. He told the court that Kanus attended his trial regularly until the military in September 2017 invaded his home in an operation that led to loss of lives. Ozekhome insisted that it was the action of the Nigerian army that made his client to run for his dear life. Besides, he argued that the federal government violated the fundamental right of his client in the way he was forcefully abducted and extraordinarily rendition back to Nigeria. He therefore urged the court to allow Kanu on bail to enable him to effectively prepare his defense to the charge pending against him. Meanwhile, before the case was adjourned till May 18 and 26, Justicenyako dismissed Ozekhome's contention that Kanu's extraordinary rendition was illegal. She stressed that there was a subsisting warrant from the court for the arrest of the defendant wherever he was found. This is just one way to clearly send signal that is not a case. You understand the issue, because that had been one of the issue that most people have been talking about. The issue of his arrest. People have been talking about it, that it was extraordinarily rendition to Nigeria. It should be with collaboration with the international community. That's Kenya. There would have been a meeting of between the Kenyan security and that of Nigeria, and then they would have given him that arrest for him to be be extradited back to Nigeria, but such did not exist. As a result of that, most people had believed that the whole scenario surrounding the extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu was totally illegal because they did not follow the due process, which should have a lot to do with the Kenyan law, and also the Kenyan government had already opened up on the issue of the immigration itinerary of Nnamdi Kanu, that the last time they saw him in their country was actually the day he came in. The whole thing was tracked from 2019 down to 2021 before he was arrested. That all what they saw the last visit, he came in, but nobody knew how he left the country. So everybody were like anchoring on that issue must be settled first of all before we start talking about other issues. But with what Justicenyako, who is the presiding judge, have said, from all indication, that has already been trashed. So right now, that particular declaration or that particular reason to the court does not hold any water again. It's of no importance because illegality was attached to that particular action by the federal government. But right now, it's been zeroed. I don't know why it was done that way. But however, she is in charge and she knows the reason why she did what she did. And the issue of his bail also is of great concern. Don't forget that we have been pre-informed by his lawyer that his health has been deteriorating. And I guess that should be one of the reasons that was added up to see how he can be released, unconditionally. But from what we are hearing, the issue has not been given a final rest point. Reason why it has not been given is because, according to Labaran, who is the federal government lawyer, he made his point clear that Nnamdi Kanu left Nigeria the last time he was given. But thank God for the likes of Mike Ozekhome, who took out time to explain that the reason why he left Nigeria was because of the intimidation and possible threatening he received from the army. The last one was in his house, where they invaded his house, and if not for God, he would have been killed. With that in mind, he did not want to stay any longer for fear of losing his life, and that was the reason why he left the shores of Nigeria for safety. And which also for me is a very good point, which can kind of touch the mind of the presiding judge to allow his bail. And he has also stated another point that the issue of him dealing with the cases very well. Don't forget that he has always been given 2 days a week for visits to take place, and it's not too okay for him, you understand. So they are trying to look at some of those points to possibly secure a bail application for Nnamdi Kanu. But the deciding date is on the 18th of May and also on the 26th of May. In other words, if it's not settled on 18th of May, it may be settled or will be settled on the 26th of May. That's just it. I'd like to leave it there. What's your standpoint on all of this? Let's interact in a